She was a fairy.
Starting with materials, you are going to need a 5 and a 6 millimeter hook, a tape measure, and you're going to need your hip measurement. That is the biggest part of your hip. And for the yarn, I'm going to be using about 250 grams of Super Burnette acrylic yarn. For this tutorial, it is made to measure, so you really can use whatever yarn. If you go for a thicker one, it's going to make it stiffer. If you go for a lighter one, it'll make it more flowy. Just depends on what you want to look like. And besides that, we're just going to need some scissors, and we are going to jump right into it. We're going to start with our 6 millimeter hook. So pretty much we're only using the 6 millimeter hook for our foundation chains. This just helps make the foundation chain not to be stiff and starts to add a little bit of stretch that we want. Now for the sizing, you're going to take your hip measurement and divide it by 4. So for me, mine's 40, so I'm gonna make them 10. Making a slip knot, which is just holding it in the back and creating an X. When you turn it over, there's one in the front and one behind. Under the first, over the second, pull it, and then you take your fingers out, but hold the 2 strings so you can close them, and you have your slip knot. Like I said, we have our measurement, so I'm making mine that long, a little bit stretched. So I'm gonna show you. For me, that's 24, and we're keeping these chains quite loose as well. You see, if it's just flat, it does not reach 10. But if I lightly stretch it, we're at 10. This is just to make sure that it goes over your hips without being too loose around your waist. Fully stretch it, I can get it to 11, but I'm just gonna lightly stretch it to 10. Once you're happy with that, this is now when we're gonna swap. Taking our 5 millimeter hook, we are going to chain 2 more, and then skip those chains. Into the third, we're going to do a double crochet, yarn over, pull through, and into the next. And we are just working this all the way down our chain, keeping this loose because we want a lot of stretch. So here we are coming up on the end of our row. You can see we're going all the way, so I have 2 more. Just like that. And now is a great time to check on the size. It's still at about 9, but if I stretch her, I can get her to 10, but not fully stretched, just a little bit. And once you are happy with that, we're gonna start row 2, which is just chain 2, turn your work, and you're gonna work a double crochet right into that last double crochet. And we're just gonna work double crochets all the way back along, just remembering to keep it on the looser side. I'm going to show you a trick for keeping things straight because that's something I really struggled with in the beginning. At the end, we have 1 more V and then kind of like the corner knot. So if you look up, we're going into the V and we're not going into the side. So we just have 1 more. And that is 2 rows. Now we are going to do the exact same thing for the next 18 rows for a total of 20. This is just pretty much the length of the skirt and how much it's going to cover and how high you can wear it. So if you want it shorter or longer, just add more double crochets. I'm going to do 20 and I will come back when mine are done. So this is what my length of my skirt is looking like. And now we are going to start working on the point. So to do that, we are just going to be working a decrease at the beginning and the end of each row until we make it into a point. So to start a row, we chain 2, turn our work, and we're going to do a decrease. We're going to yarn over into the first double crochet, yarn over so you have 3 on your hook. You're going to yarn over just 2, so you have 2 left. Yarn over again into the next chain right there and pull through. So now we have 4, and then you're going to go 2, 3, and that is a decrease. And then in the next one you're just going to do a double crochet and then work the double crochets all the way along this row until you have 2 chains left at the end. And there's my last 2, so we're going to yarn over through that next chain and pull, so we have 3, 2, yarn over again, chain into the last, so now we have 4, and then pull 2, pull 3. And we've done a decrease on each side. And we're just going to repeat that all the way to the bottom. So chain 2, turn your work, decrease, double crochets all the way along. And once we're down at the last 2, we do 1 more decrease, and that's our second one. So we're just going to repeat that decreasing on either side with double crochets in the middle until we get down to the end, and I will come back when we are close to our point. I have just done my chain 2, and we're just going to do 2 decreases back to back. So 1 decrease, just like the exact same, and 1 more time. So now when you chain 2 and turn it over, you only have 2 chains left. So 1 decrease, like that, chain 1, and you are ready to cut it off. Your leaf is done. So like I mentioned earlier, you're going to want to make 3 more of these, 4 in total, and then we're going to jump right into the detail on the leaves. Taking the color that you want to be your veins on the leaf, and you're just gonna make our slip knot, like so. Take your hook out of it. This is a leaf, right? So it doesn't have to be a perfectly straight line. So I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna grab my hook through there, and now we're gonna pull it through, but we're just gonna pull it through so just the loop comes through. Then we're gonna yarn over and pull through. So now this is attached. So I'm just holding my yarn back here like I usually do with this over, and we are working down and along here. We're going down into the next one from the back, yarning over it, pulling it through. Now we want to keep this really loose. If we keep it tight, it's going to stop it from stretching. I like to really pull it out, like the looser the better. Pull it through the last one. We're slip stitching all the way down, like so. From the back, I yarn it over, I pull it through, so we have 2, make it really loose, and pull it through the last. I'm just making a line all the way from the top to reach to the point. And here I am, I've gone all the way down to the last, and I'm going to pull that through. And then to end it, just yarn over, and then you can cut that off and tie it off. Now we are going to do the veins coming this way. And again, you can do as many or as little as you want. I'm just going to show you how to do one, and then you can do them however your heart desires. We're going to do the exact same thing with making a slip knot and having that ready. But this time, we're gonna do one this way first, but you're gonna start on this side of the last surface crochet, just so you don't get a gap. I'm gonna put my hook down, turn it over, grab it through, just enough for the loop to be out. On the other side, so across, I'm gonna go down in there, yarn over, and pull that through, and we're attached. The way I've done mine, that I think looks the best, I kinda go down, and then I go up. First I'll go down to this one, yarn over really loose, pull it through, then I'll go across one, pull it through, down one more, pull it through. As you can see, we're kind of going down, and I'm going to go over, pull, over one more, and now we're going to start working on going back up. I'm going to go up one, pull it through, over one, pull it through, like that, and I think I'm just going to go straight, yarning over, through. As you can see, I have like 1 double crochet left, so I'm going to go through there, yarn over, pull through, and then we're going to do the over where I just have a chain and I yarn over and pull through, and we can cut that one off. And that is how you surface crochet. So you're going to want to finish the veins going down wherever you would like, and then you're going to need to make 3 more of them. And I will come back when I have all 4 leaves with the surface crochet on it and ready to go. A tip that I do have is just like, make sure that you can really stretch these out still. I have all 4 of my leaves. Look at how cute they are. And we are ready to start connecting everything. Taking the first 2, we're going to be working up. Get them in position. And the way that we are connecting this is going to leave like a line down the middle. So choose what color you want. I'm gonna use the light green. Started with my slip knot. This time we're keeping it on our hook to begin. Going into the very corner of one side, into the top loop only. So there's the V, just into the top one. And then into the other side, doing the same thing, right in that corner. Top one. Now the one important thing is the yarn is feeding from the back. Get the strings out of the way so it doesn't get confusing. Where is she? Up the middle. And you're gonna go down, yarn over, and pull through both of them. Both. Oh. And that. And we're just gonna continue to do that. So in the next one, top loop right there, top loop right there, yarn over, pull through all. Going into the front loop can start to get hard because we're working into the side of double crochets. So it's really just any loop you can get in there with. See that one, the front loop, I'm gonna go just into that one because it's the easiest and pull through. You're gonna do this all the way to meet until you get to where the point goes. This is what that line is looking like going down. And now I'm gonna like tuck this leaf out of the way and turn it to work this way. We went into that loop, but I'm going to do the first single crochet into that hole right there. And then a single crochet into that double crochet hole. And we're just doing it into the holes all the way down. I'm going to weave in this end as I go, kind of moving it out of the way. That next hole right there. And this doesn't have to be perfect. And just doing that exact same thing all the way down. So that's what it's looking like. We are coming right up on the point, working all the way up. You're gonna do 3 single crochets in the top to make our point. 2, get out of there. 3. Now we're gonna turn it, doing the exact same thing into each hole, and we're going to be connecting the next leaf at the bottom and working up. So you're going to work these single crochets up to the exact same point that you started here. So this is what it is looking like. I've worked the single crochets all the way up. You can go to this side and see where it's connected, go along right to there, getting ready to connect, so making sure that string is going up and behind, and then getting that leaf ready to go. On the side that we're connecting, go through the top loop on the other side, pull it from the back, and slip stitch. And we are just working this all the way up to the corner, so slip stitching into the closest loop that you can. And for these, I honestly find that it is a pain to weave in while I'm doing this, so we just tuck those in. That is what it is starting to look like on that side. I'm going to work that pattern all the way up to the corner, and here I have my last 2 front loops on there. We're going to do our last slip stitch. You're just going to chain 1 and cut it off. And this is what it is looking like with the 3 panels connected. As you can see, this leaf kind of looks like it's outlined and these don't yet. We will get there. So the next step is just repeating the exact thing we just did. I would set my next leaf up like so. Slip stitch from the top, go down to the same point on this side, 3 single crochets at the top, all the way back up, and then instead, this is all connected, so then you would flip, and then the last one would be connecting this side back up and doing the exact same thing. So by the end, this is a full skirt. We are fully connected. Incredible. Obviously everything is outlined except for these 2 points, so we need to do that. Taking whatever color that you're going to do the outline in, take that off your hook, connect it to the other side, and do the same, pull through just the loop, and then yarn over to connect it. Now we're just going to do the exact same thing that we did on the other point, is working into the holes all the way down. So I've made it back to the other corner, like always, just chain 1 and cut it off. Okay, yeah, see, that looks way better when it's outlined. So I'm just gonna do the exact same thing on the other side off camera, and then we will get into our waistband. I've changed my color to the color that I want for the band, and I have a slip knot on my hook. I'm sticking with my 5mm. You can add this to anywhere on your skirt. I prefer to do it in the back. You can't really tell, but that's just a personal preference. You can do it anywhere. And we're just gonna be going into one of the loops at the top, pulling the loop through, and then pulling it to tie on, just like that. So now we're going to start working on cinching the waist by doing a sequence of single crochet to decrease, single crochet to decrease. So into the next loop, I'm just going to do 1 single crochet, and then we're going to do a decrease. So we're going to go into the next loop and pull through, so we have 2, and then into the next loop, pull through, so there's 3, and then pull all 3 of those. And then repeat 1 single crochet, 1 decrease. So in 2, into the next, 3, pull all 3. And we're just repeating that all the way around. So single crochet and a decrease all the way around till we get to the end. Doesn't really matter if you're ending on a single or a double. As you see, I have that one, and then I'm going to connect it back to there. So I'm going to do 1 more decrease into there, back into there. And then I'm just going to slip stitch into that first brown chain. Chain 1, and we have finished that row. As you can see, it's added just a little bit of a cinch. Next, we're just doing a round of single crochets into every chain. Into the next one, single crochet, next. And we're just doing that all the way around. And coming up on the end here, you can see I've got 1 more, and then it goes back to my new row. So I'm going to do single crochet in there and then slip stitch that together. And that helps it cinch in even more. I would try it on again just to make sure that it still fits. As you can see, it's kind of helping to add a little bit more shape. So for my waistband, I'm doing it about 3 inches, which is 13 chains with a 5mm hook. But you can make your waistband as big or small as you want. So you're just going to chain that amount. For me, I'm going to do 13. Next, we're going to chain one more. This counts as our turning chain, making sure your band is straight. That loop right there, you're going to slip stitch and slip stitch down the row. Turn your work, do it back up, chain one, back down. You're gonna do that all the way around, and you're gonna go all the way until you meet back up on this side, and I'll meet you there. So this is what the waistband looks like completely done. As you can see, it's made that shape. And now the last thing we have to do is just create our waistband and attach it. So for that, I'm going to do 150 chains, which is about 40 inches. But obviously you can do whatever size. It's going to go around your waist with a little tie in the front. Just chain your desired amount. You're going to want to figure out like where you want the two strings. So that's kind of center. So I'm just going to kind of do like one there and one there with some sort of sewing in needle. If you don't have a sewing in needle, you can just use your hook and hook it through in and out. That just takes longer. If you have a sewing needle or something like this that you can tie off, and where the middle of that is, again, I'm just eyeballing this, not perfect. And now I'm going to be working this way, weaving it in and out, trying to keep it in a straight line. I go every 2. And then every once in a while you can just pull it through. Choo-choo. Turn your work and keep going. Do that all the way around till we meet to the front. We're gonna leave a gap. So we've made it to the front, so about there is where I'm gonna leave it. We're just gonna wanna pull this through so it's even. Okay, well, I cannot quite believe it, but we are done. Introducing the fairy leaf skirt. This is my first written pattern that I've spent so long curating and making perfect, and I'm just so happy with how it turned out. Thank you to everyone who supports me. Thank you to everyone who has made it this far. There's nothing left but to try her on. Ignore the barking dog, but are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to like style this with other pieces of my crochet, but I've been working on this for so long. This band part and this end part took like 3.5 hours. I'm gonna do a whole costume fit of a fairy this summer. This is only part 1. Stay tuned.